Yes, sir, I believe I was.
Okay. And did you receive any information regarding an incident at 160 Fawn Drive?
Yes, sir, I did. I was contacted by the division secretary that my services were requested at 160 Fawn Drive,
And when you say your services, what particular services would those have been at the time?
to process the crime scene for the collection and preservation of evidence.
And so what did you do when you received that information?
I went to the scene and made contact with the officers and detectives that were already on scene, as well as a few of the firefighters, and discussed the situation that we had and began the process, after the arrival of a GBI agent to assist, began the process of processing the crime scene for evidence.
And I want to pause for just a second and talk about something kind of separate from the crime scene itself. Do you recall what the weather was like on that day?
It was kind of cool and rainy. We'd have sections of heavy rain to mostly light rain, but I believe it's in the 50s, mid to low 50s, up to as much as 60 degrees.
Okay. And so when you arrived on scene, well, let me ask you this question first. Is there a typical process that you go through when you're about to prepare to process a crime scene?
Usually the first thing I'll do, I'll take video if it's necessary. We didn't do it on all crime scenes, but on the major ones we did. And then I would do photographing of the scene before anything was moved or disturbed. We would try to document the scene through photographs and video.
And so I'm going to hand you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 36 after I show it to defense counsel. Your Honor, may I have permission to approach the witness and move freely through the well of the court?
Granted.
Thank you. I'm going to hand you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 36. Would you take a moment to take a look at that and tell me if you recognize what it is?
I do.
How do you recognize it?
It was presented to me by your office as a copy of the crime scene video downloaded to a flash drive.
Have you had a chance to review it?
Yes, sir, I have.
And does it, after having reviewed it, does it fairly and accurately depict the video that you created on January 19th of 2001 of the scene at 160 Fawn Drive?
Yes, sir, it does.
All right. Judge, I move to tender your State's 36 and publish it to the jury.
Any objection?
No, ma'am.
It is admitted.
And Mr. Leall, while I'm getting this set up, 160 Fawn Drive, what county is that located in?
It's in Athens, Clark County. Is that better? There we go. Just put it in there 2 seconds.
Your Honor, I'm ready to publish State's 36 at this time.
Lawyer left on, I'm assuming that that's what needs to happen. There we go. Yep. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, are you not getting it on your screens in front of you? Okay. There are some people that are, can you raise your hand who's getting it on their screen? Just a few people. Okay, front row it looks like, not the back row? Okay, hang on just a moment. Mr. Dickey, do you think you could help us? Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you for letting me know. Let's see if we can get that working. Everybody has it on their monitor now? Excellent. Very good. Thank you, sir. You may proceed.
And, Your Honor, just for the record, I've started the video back over at the beginning. And so I'm publishing States 36 from the beginning. Thanks. Because I was about to mislabel it as 36 number 2. So I'm going to hand you States Exhibit 37. Please review it and let me know when you have an opportunity to do so.
Yes, sir.
Do you recognize States 37?
Yes, sir, I do.
And what do you recognize that to be?
It's an aerial photograph of the development at Fawn Drive and adjacent streets, including all the residences there.
All right. And are you familiar with that area of Athens during that time period?
A little bit, yes.
Yes, sir. Do you believe that is a fair and accurate depiction of that area during the relevant time period?
Yes, sir, I do.
Judge, I move to tender States 37 at this time and publish it to the jury.
Any objection, Mr. Cruz?
No, ma'am.
It is admitted.
Your Honor, for the record, hand Mr. Cruz States 38, 39, 4. May I publish this using the Elmo, Judge?
You may. All right, thank you. All right, counsel, we're going to take a 5-minute recess. And so, jury, please go into the jury room. Don't discuss the case. We'll be with you shortly. Thank you. Y'all may be seated. Council, just a jury member needed to take a break. Please be seated. Mr. Yalamanchili, you have the floor.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm going to start calling you Lieutenant Leall. Every time I say Mr. Leall, it just feels weird to me. So I'm just going to refer to you as Lieutenant Leall from now on. Sir, you have State's Exhibit 37, which has been admitted into evidence up on the screen there. Your Honor, would you enable the ability for Lieutenant Leall to draw on the screen? Thank you. And Lieutenant Leall, looking at that image, can you draw a circle around where 160 Fawn Drive is located?
Yes, sir.
All right. And so looking at that image, it seems to me at least, well, let me just ask you a question. Is there anything different about the roof at 160 Fawn Drive from the other roofs in the area?
Yes, sir. It's covered with a tarp.
Okay. And could you point out where Cooper Road is in relation to 160 Fawn Drive if you just draw a line across the roadway?
Yes, sir. This would be Cooper Road here.
Okay. I'm going to hand you now State's Exhibits 38, 39, and 40. Same thing as before. Take a moment to look at those and let me know if you recognize what they are.
Yes, sir. I do recognize them.
And starting with State's Exhibit 38, what do you recognize that to be?
That is a diagram of the floor plan of the residence at 160 Fawn Drive.
Who created that diagram?
I did.
All right. And is it a fair and accurate depiction of the diagram that you created?
Yes, sir, it is.
I move to tender State's 38 at this time.
Any objection, Mr. Cruz?
Hearsay to the last two as is.
Any response to the objection? Oh, wait, you mean of 39 and 40?
Correct.
Okay,
Those are the
let's-
ones with the titles on them.
Okay, we'll get to those in a second. How about 38? What is your opinion on that?
I don't recall 38 had. May I ask you 38, Your Honor, just to ensure I don't.
All right, of course.
Properly. No objection to 38.
Right, it is admitted.
State's Exhibit 39, what is that?
That is a diagram of the bedroom.
Hang on a second, sir. I'm sorry. Yes, sir?
39 and 40 were the two that I had the objection.
Okay, so we'll get to that in a minute. I'll let Mr. Yalamanchili lay a foundation if he can, and then if he tenders it, you can object and we'll hear it.
Yes,
Go
ma'am.
ahead, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. State's Exhibit 39, what is that?
It's a diagram of the bedroom where Miss Baker was located.
And who created that diagram?
I did.
And does it appear to be a fair and accurate depiction of the diagram that you created?
Yes, sir, it does.
And Judge, I move to tender 39 at this time.
Okay, Mr. Cruz.
I would object to the hearsay in the document.
Okay, and tell me what you mean by that objection, and then Mr. Yalamanchili, you can refer to it.
Sure, just the descriptions.
Okay?
If I remember correctly, may I see it? Yeah, just the descriptions, that's all.
Mr. Yalamanchili, any response?
Judge, I think the descriptions accept that this is a demonstrative aid and it was created by Lieutenant Leall to depict the bedroom that he was in. It's not hearsay, it's his statements as a testified witness about what each of these things in this document are.
I'm going to overrule the objection and admit it over objection.
39 and 40, Your Honor.
We haven't gotten to 40 yet.
Yes, ma'am.
State's Exhibit 40, Lieutenant Leall, what is that?
That is also a diagram of the bedroom where Miss Baker was found, and it includes measurements to the location from reference points to certain areas on the body, as well as other pieces of evidence in the room.
And when you say measurements, who was making those measurements?
I did.
Okay. And does that appear to be a fair and accurate depiction of the diagram with measurements that you created?
Yes, sir, it does.
So they're moved to 10 to 40?
Any objection, Mr. Cruz?
Yes, ma'am, just your saying, to the descriptions.
All right, anything further, Mr. Yelman-Chillis?
Same response as 39, Judge.
I'm going to overrule the objection and admit it over objection.
Yes, ma'am.
And may I publish 38, 39, and 40 to the jury?
You may.
Thank you, Judge. So, Lieutenant Leall, starting with, oh, froze up on me. Okay, there we go. Starting with State's Exhibit 38. I would like you to start at the bottom of that diagram, and would you please just describe for the jury the layout of the residence at 160 Fawn Drive?
The layout, starting at the bottom, is the entrance into the front of the residence. And as you enter into the living room area, you'll locate two bedrooms to your left as you walk in, and one bedroom to your right, as well as the living room area. It also depicts the restrooms and the closets related to each bedroom. And then as you go farther into the diagram, you'll enter the dining area, and it's a floor plan of the kitchen area, the laundry room, and also shows a third bedroom and a rear entrance or exit, however you look at it, to the residence. Also located when you walk in the front door to the right is a bedroom, just off the living room, the bedroom, and it has its own bathroom. As it relates to the video that we just saw, obviously depicted in that video was Miss Baker's body. Which bedroom is it that was located in? She was located in bedroom number 3 in the upper left-hand corner of that diagram. All right, thank you. Now going forward to State's Exhibit 39. I'm going to point down, obviously there is a human-shaped drawing here. What is that? That depicts the location of Miss Baker. All right. And then there is an item that appears to be to the left as I look down of her head. What is that? That would be a knife that was found on the floor beside the body. And then moving up towards the top of the document, what is the next arrow pointing towards and identifying? That is the printer cable and power transformer that went from the printer to the body of Miss Baker, and the cord itself was wrapped around her neck. And then as we move up, directly up from there, what is that arrow and what is it depicting? That's showing the footboard of the bed, that it was broken away from the frame of the bed. And then if you continue a little bit farther up there, you'll see the printer where that cable was run to. And then I'm going to go to State's Exhibit 40. What are we seeing here? That's the same diagram. The only difference is I've added measurements from various reference points to certain items on the diagram, such as to the location of the body and of the bed, so I could put it back, the scene back together if needed on the measurements.
You mentioned taking a video, and you mentioned also taking still photos. I'm going to hand you. After I show them to Mr. Cruz, what I'm going to label as states 41, 42, 43, and 44. Leall, I'm handing you states 41 through 44. Take a look at those. Let me know when you've had a chance to review them, and then we'll start talking.
I viewed them, yes.
Starting with states 41, do you recognize that image?
I do.
What is it?
It's a photograph taken of the entrance to 160 Fawn Drive.
And does that appear to be a fair and accurate depiction of the entrance?
Yes, sir, it does.
And I tender states 41, Judge.
Any objection, Mr. Cruz?
No, ma'am.
It is admitted.
States 42, do you mind telling me what that is?
That is also a photograph of the front entrance to 160 Fawn Drive, just taken from a different angle.
Does it appear to be a fair and accurate depiction?
It does.
Move to tender 42, Judge.
Any objection, Mr. Cruz?
No, ma'am.
It is admitted.
And then as to states exhibit 43, what is that?
That's a photograph of the damage to the front door that was made upon entry.
All right, does this appear to be a fair and accurate depiction?
It does.
Move to tender 43, Judge.
Any objection, Mr. Cruz?
No, ma'am.
It is admitted.
And 44, what is that?
44 is a photograph of the interior towards the right as you walk in to the 160 Fawn Drive. It shows the living room area.
Thank you. Does that appear to be a fair and accurate depiction?
It does.
Move to tender 44, Your Honor.
Any objection, Mr. Cruz?
No, ma'am.
It is admitted.
And Your Honor, I've handed Mr. Cruz a number of other exhibits from the state for him to review. And I would just ask the court to be allowed to publish states 41 through 44 for the jury at this time using the element.
Granted.
So states exhibit 41 being published now. Those hoses or tubes down at the bottom of the doorway there, Lieutenant Leall, what are those?
Those are the hoses that the fire department used to extinguish the fire.
Now, going to States Exhibit 42. I think you already stated that this is the entryway from a different angle.
Yes, sir.
States Exhibit 43, do you mind restating what that is?
That's a photograph of the lock and the handle on the front door, showing the damage from the exterior side of the door.
And States Exhibit 44, what is this again?
That's as you enter in the front door. It's a view of the living room to the right all the way to the rear exit of the residence.
Let me see. A little more light might be helpful. Lieutenant Leall, there on the coffee table, what are we seeing?
You see some books, and you also have some, appears to be dust and soot, and possibly some fiberglass insulation on the table.
Okay. And so when you made entry into the residence and you were walking through, can you describe for the jury the condition of the residence outside of Miss Baker's room, but the remainder of the residence as you walk through it?
It was kept very well. However, it did have a lot of sooting and dusty damage as a result of the fire and the debris from the fire, as well as some water damage. And also showing, in this case, insulation and some drywall from where the fire department had the open holes into the ceiling and pull some of the sheetrock down to vent up into the roof.
And so I'm going to skip around a little bit as Mr. Cruz reviews the other photographs that we're going to be admitting. What is trace evidence?
Trace evidence is small pieces of evidence or minute pieces of evidence such as hair, fingerprints, fibers, any very small pieces of evidence, even parts of bullet fragments, anything that's minute.
Can environmental factors at a crime scene impact the ability to collect trace evidence?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Okay. And how so?
Well, like, for example, when you're dealing with fingerprints and you introduce water to an area, that can help wash down fingerprints, or it affects the ability to recover fingerprints, because we typically use a powder to try to recover prints, and the water itself could cause damage to it and prevent you from recovering it. Also, you've got issues where you have, like in this case, the fiberglass insulation, blown insulation falling down. It would make it extremely difficult to recover hairs and fibers and things on the underneath that insulation. And it'd be almost virtually impossible to go through every little piece of fiber insulation to try to determine if there was any trace evidence attached to that. And also you've got temperature can affect, heat and humidity can affect the ability to recover fingerprints, and it also does damage to other items and makes it extremely difficult to recover trace evidence.
Did you end up processing this scene for trace evidence?
Yes, sir, we did.
Were environmental factors, I'm going to use the word factor twice, but was the environment a factor in trace evidence processing in this case?
Very much so, yes.
Okay. What is a known sample?
A known sample is a sample that you get from a known source, such as an individual, or, for example, if you were comparing paints, getting a known reference sample of the paint that you're to compare with the paint that you're finding, or something to compare with the item that you're collecting at the scene.
Is it important to collect known samples from people who have been at a scene as part of their normal life?
Yes.
Okay. And why is that important?
You can use it for process of elimination, where you can, if you've got known samples of the people that live there, for example, you can use that to compare to the items that you collected at that scene to determine if it belongs to them or if it belongs to an outsider who may not typically have access to that residence or that location. So you would want the known samples to do those comparisons to eliminate some of the evidence that you or trace evidence that you've recovered, to see what you're left with and to compare it as a possible unknown.
Would it be expected or normal to find trace evidence from people who had been at a scene as part of their normal life?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Okay. I'm going to hand you now State's Exhibits 45 through 62. And instead of asking you one at a time, I'm just going to let you go through all of them. Just let me know when you've had a chance to do so. State's Exhibits 63 through 69.
Okay.
Kind of collectively, what are these exhibits 45 through 62 that I handed you?
They're photographs of the interior of the residence at 160 Fawn Drive, of the various rooms, as well as the bedroom area where Miss Baker was found.
And do they all appear to be fair and accurate depictions of various parts of that residence on January 19th of 2001?
They do.
Judge, I move that tender 45 through 62 at this time and publish them to the jury.
Any objection, Mr. Cruz? They are admitted. And your permission is granted.
Thank you, Judge. All right, I'm going to start with State's Exhibit 45. I've just put it up on the Elmo. Can you describe for the jury what's depicted in 45?
Yes, sir. That's as you enter the front door of the residence, that is to your right, and it shows the doorway leading to what I've labeled as bedroom number 1 on the diagram.
Thank you. And just for orientation purposes, I'll briefly put back up on the Elmo State's Exhibit 38. You said bedroom 1, is that correct?
Yes, sir, that is.
All right. Then State's Exhibit 46, what are we looking at there?
That's a photograph showing taken from the front door area going directly back to the rear of the residence. To your left would be the entrances to bedroom number 2 and bedroom number 3 where Miss Baker was located.
And I am going to show you 47 now. Is that just a slightly different angle of what's depicted in 46?
Yes, sir, it is.
And 48, can you tell the jury what that is?
Yes, sir, that's a photograph from the doorway entrance to bedroom number 2, which would, as you walk in the front door, that would be immediately to your left.
Okay. And I think the jury has seen the diagram. I won't do the reorientation again. Can we go to States 49? What is that?
That is also a photograph of bedroom number 2 showing as you walk in the door of the bedroom, it'd be immediately to your right, and it goes back to the bathroom for that bedroom.
State's Exhibit 50, what are we looking at here?
That's a photograph showing the kitchen area and the rear exit or entrance to 160 Fawn Drive.
Okay. And in particular, I'm pointing down at the picture to the bottom here. What is that at the bottom of the picture?
That is soot and water on the floor of the residence from the fire, as well as the firefighters and other personnel walking on the floor, disturbing that soot pattern. So it just kind of mixed everything up.
Would that be something you would consider an environmental factor?
Yes, sir.
State's Exhibit 51, what are we looking at here?
That is a photograph of the entrance to bedroom number 3, which is Miss Baker's bedroom, and immediately to your left is a shot of the doorway going into the bathroom there that enters into that living room that is also shared through Miss Baker's room.
Sir. State's Exhibit 52 here. What are we looking at?
That's a photograph from the doorway as you enter into bedroom number 3 or Miss Baker's room, showing the wall immediately to your right as you enter.
And I'm going to point down here. What is my finger pointing at there?
That is the computer printer.
There are going to be some difficult pictures. Obviously, we've all seen the video. I'm putting up State's Exhibit 53 at this point. What are we looking at in 53?
That's a photograph showing the position of Miss Baker as she laid on the floor of the bedroom.
Okay. Right here is, what is that?
That is a strap that belongs to either a purse or an overnight bag or something that's immediately below the left hand of Miss Baker.
And it's difficult to see, but I'm going to point here, and then Judge, if I could circulate this picture to the jury. What is that around her neck?
That is the printer cable, the power cable that leads from the transformer of the printer and is wrapped around the neck of Miss Baker.
Judge, if I could, just because it is difficult. State's Exhibit 54, what are we looking at there?
That is also a photograph of the printer that's on the floor, and also you'll see the edge of the footboard of the bed on the left side of that photograph.
So for orientation purposes, I'm putting State's Exhibit 39 back up. So as you come in the doorway to the bedroom from the hallway, which way would you turn to see the printer that was just depicted in State's Exhibit 54?
You would turn to your right.
All right. State's Exhibit 55, what are we seeing here?
That's a photograph taken from the doorway going straight back to the rear of the room. The door that you see there is the door to the closet. And to your right would be the headboard of the bed, as well as, I believe, a picture frame that's hanging there.
And here, right here at the front of the picture, what would that be?
That's part of the sheetrock ceiling that was pulled down.
State's Exhibit 56, what are we seeing there?
That is also taken from the doorway as you enter the bedroom, and it goes like to a 45-degree angle to the back corner of the room, showing the area where the fire burned through the ceiling into the roof.
And State's Exhibit 57, is that just panning up a little higher?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Okay. And so here, is that, what are we seeing there?
That's the trees off in the distance. It's the shot. It burned through the ceiling, and it's a shot showing the sky.
State's 58, I'm going to point to the middle of the image there. What is that?
That's a wall clock.
Okay. Did you have an opportunity to observe that wall clock yourself outside of having taken a picture of it?
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay. Was it functioning when you observed it?
No, it was not.
All right. And were the hour hand and the minute hand stopped in any particular location?
They were, I'm sorry, they were stopped at 9:32.
State's Exhibit 59, Here in the middle here, what is this?
That is the bed spring of the bed that belongs to Miss Baker, and the yellow item that goes across the bed is a fire hose.
Okay. And then State's Exhibit 60, which bedroom is that in?
That is also bedroom number 3, which is Miss Baker's bed.
And then 61, what is that depicting?
Again, that's also a photograph of the entire bed in bedroom number 3, and a little bit of the portion of the bottom shows a portion of Miss Baker's arm.
And which arm, right or left, would that be of Miss Baker's?
It would be her right arm.
Okay. State's Exhibit 62, what are we looking at here?
That's a photograph showing the public, and I'm going to use the word public entrance to the restroom or the bathroom that conjoins with Miss Baker's room.
All right, sir, I'm going to hand you what's been marked as State's Exhibits 63 through 69. If you would, please take a look at those. And let me know when you've had a chance to review them. In your honor, I'm handing Mr. Cruz States 70 through 76 in this.
I'm done.
What are those?
Those are photographs of various locations inside the residence as you walk into the front door, showing bedroom number 1, which would be immediately to your right as you walk in the front door. In the interior of the room, also a photograph of the kitchen and the stove area and cabinet area to the right and the rear door. And another photograph showing the entrance to the laundry room and the kitchen table. Another photograph of showing the stove, actually 2 of them showing the stove in the kitchen area. And the last one is a photograph showing the kitchen window taken from the exterior of the residence.
Judge, are these fair and accurate depictions?
Yes, sir, they are.
Judge, I move to tender States 63 through 69 at this time.
Any objection, Mr. Cruz?
No, ma'am.
They are admitted.
I move to publish them to the jury.
Granted.
All right, State 63, which bedroom would this have been?
That's bedroom, what I've labeled as bedroom number 1 on the diagram.
Okay.
That's immediately to your right as you walk in the front door of the residence.
And then States Exhibit 64, what are we looking at there?
That is a photograph also of bedroom number 1 showing the entrance to the bathroom that's attached to that room.
States Exhibit 55, we've moved to a different part of the house. Where are we?
That I'm standing kind of at the edge of the living room, dining room, showing a photograph of the kitchen area and the rear exit of the residence.
And States Exhibit 66, what is that depicting?
That's a photograph of the kitchen table area and the entrance to the laundry area of the residence.
And then States Exhibit 67, what are we looking at here?
That is a photograph of the stove in the kitchen.
Can you see anything around the eyes of the stove?
Yes, sir. It's on the front left corner, you can see some charred remains of something on around the eye and along the edge of the eye. It would be the eye on the, I'm sorry, it would be the eye on the front left corner.
So as you face the stove, the front left corner.
Yes, sir.
Okay. State 68, what are we seeing here?
That is a closer shot of the eyes of the stove and also including that front left eye, showing the items that were there.
And then State's Exhibit 69, what is this item?
That's a photograph of the rear, taken from the exterior of the building of the window leading to the kitchen of the residence.
In particular, at the top and on the left side, is there anything about that screen that stuck out to you?
Yes, sir.
And what was that?
The screen appeared to be bent downward along the top and then inward on the side as if someone was put in there to pull it down and away out of the frame.
As you began to process and investigate the scene, or I guess it didn't begin, but as you are processing and investigating the scene on January 19th of 2001, was that something that piqued y'all's interest?
Yes, sir.
All right. And so what, if anything, did you do to investigate that further?
Well, that item was collected. It was taken out of the frame and it was collected to be fingerprinted or processed later because it was wet. It also, we used it to kind of look at how that frame itself was bent and broken.
Okay. Was there any testing done on well, that's the wrong question. The testing on this particular screen that was taken, did that yield anything of evidentiary significance?
No, it did not.
As it relates to other screens,
You have an objection, Mr. Cruz?
I would just object to leading. I try not to make that objection too many times, but I just asked them.
All right. I'm going to sustain that objection. Don't lead your witness.
yes, Judge. Would you like me to re-ask the questions?
Yes, please.
Thank you. Lieutenant Leall, was the screen collected?
Yes, sir, it was.
Was it processed?
Yes, sir, it was.
What, if any, results were yielded?
There was no identifiable prints or anything found on the screen.
As it relates to the other screens at the home, was anything done to test those screens?
Yes, sir. I myself and another investigator attempted to remove the screen from the exterior side to see how it would pull out. And during that testing, we could not remove the screen without fracturing the frame of the screen somewhere because we had to bend it so far to remove it from that window from the exterior side of the building.
And so how did the screens that y'all tested out removing them compare to the screen that we just depicted in State's Exhibit 69?
They were identical screens made of the same type of material, which I believe was aluminum, and they were approximately the same size from each one of them.
And so after you tested prying them out, did that do anything to those screens?
Yes, it broke them and bent them.
Okay. And how did those breaks and bends compare with the screen that we depicted in State's Exhibit 69?
Very similar.
Okay. And I'm going to hand you State's Exhibits 70 through 76, which have already been shown to Mr. Cruz. Once you get done reviewing them, let me know.
Sir, hold on.
And just kind of collectively, not individually, what are these?
Those are photographs of various items. The screen itself is, or the rear window, and all photographs of Miss Baker and the area around her body, as well as the entrance to the bathroom, I believe.
Are they fair and accurate depictions from January 19th of 2001?
Yes, sir, they are.
Judge, I moved to tender states 70 through 76 and asked to publish those to the jury.
Any objection, Mr. Cruz?
No, ma'am.
They are admitted, and yes, you may publish.
State 70, what is that?
That's a photograph of the upper torso of Miss Baker as she was found. It also includes photograph of the straps that was found on the bag that matched the bag to the left, her left, as she's laying there. And you see portion of the transformer that belonged to the printer there.
States Exhibit 71.
That's a closer photograph of the cord that went from the transformer to around the neck of Miss Baker.
State 72.
That is a closer shot or another angle of the cord as it's around the neck of Miss Baker.
And States Exhibit 73, what are we seeing here?
That's a photograph of the broken screen from the window as it enters into the kitchen of the rear of the residence.
And States Exhibit 74.
That's another photograph of that same screen, but that's showing, as you're facing the screen, showing the left-hand edge of that frame of that screen.
And States Exhibit 75.
That's a photograph of the window leading into the kitchen, showing the entire screen as it was found.
And this is jumping around a little bit, I'm sorry, but State 76, what are we looking at here?
That's a photograph of the entrance to the bathroom. I call it the public bathroom from the main room, and also the one that's shared by Miss Baker's bedroom.
And when you say public bathroom, I'm just going to put the diagram of the floor plan layout up again. And you've testified that bedroom 3 is Miss Baker's bedroom, is that right?
That's correct.
The bathroom in bedroom 3, how many doors does it have?
That has two doors. Okay. One that leads from the living room into the bathroom, and then the other one leads, the only way to enter through that one is through the bedroom.
Okay. And so the other two bathrooms in the home, how do they differ from the bathroom in bedroom 3?
The only way you can enter those bathrooms is by going inside their bedrooms.
And, Your Honor, I'm going to hand Mr. Cruz State's Exhibits 77, 87. so, I'm sorry, I've been showing these to you. State's Exhibit 77 through 87, Lieutenant Leall, I'm going to hand those to you now. And sir, haven't had a chance to review these. Do you recognize what they are?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay, and I don't need you to necessarily describe each of them right now, but kind of in general, where are they pictures from?
Those are photos that are taken inside the bedroom of Miss Baker, showing some of the items of evidence that we collected.
And do they appear to be fair and accurate depictions?
Yes, sir, they do.
Judge, I move to tender 77 through 87 and publish them to the jury.
Any objection, Mr. Cruz?
No, ma'am.
They are admitted. And you may publish.
Thank you, Judge. State's Exhibit 77, what is that?
That's a photograph of the knife that was found near the head of Miss Baker.
Okay. And State's Exhibit 78, what is that?
That's also another photograph of the knife.
Okay. And let me ask you a question real quick. Was the blade on this knife longer than 3 inches?
Yes, sir.
Okay. State's Exhibit 79, what are we looking at here?
That's the photograph of the knife as it was found on the floor adjacent to Miss Baker.
Okay, and so immediately to the left of the knife handle, we see something. What is this here?
That is the right arm of Miss Baker.
Okay, I just want to ask you a question real quick. We see in 79 the knife handle right there, and then we see in 78 knife handle right here. Those appear in the photographs to be 2 different colors. Is there an explanation for that?
That's just the way the light reflected off of it as I was taking the photograph. When I got the photograph, I was holding the knife. It was closer to the camera in the flash, and I was getting actual true color. When it was down onto the ground, it was getting lesser light, and it was just showing a different shade of it.
Okay. When you're taking pictures in an environment, can some of the surrounding colors or the colors in the environment affect the flash?
Yes, sir.
Yes. All right, I'm going to sustain that objection. You may rephrase, Mr. Yelamichili.
Are there differences in how does a flash affect photographs?
It can affect photographs in different ways, but the amount of reflection onto the item that you're taking a photograph of, and then you have items, for example, this where it's a lot of dark backgrounds. It doesn't reflect the light like it should, or as well as if there wasn't anything dark there, and it will change the colors and the hues a little bit when you take the photograph and you print the photographs out, and you get a different color to it, different tints.
And I'm going to put up State's Exhibit 80 at this time. What are we seeing here?
That's a photograph of Miss Baker, and to the left of the photograph, you see the area of the printer cable that's run across and over towards her.
At any point while you were on scene processing the scene, was Miss Baker's body moved?
Yes,
Okay. Who moved it?
myself and Agent Terry Cooper,
Why did y'all move it?
to take her out to a cleaner area and put her on some clean sheets that we had purchased to check for trace evidence, and to also try to recover fingerprints and have more room to work besides in the room where she was found.
What area did y'all move her to?
To the living room.
Okay. So I'm going to show you now State's Exhibit 81. When y'all, what am I seeing in 81?
You're seeing the head area of Miss Baker and the power cord that's wrapped around the neck.
Had you done anything to the power cord prior to moving her?
Yes, sir. I cut the power cord from the transformer so we could leave the power cord around the neck of Miss Baker for the forensic pathologist to view.
Okay. State's Exhibit 82, what is that?
That is the right hand of Miss Baker.
Okay. State's Exhibit 83, what are we seeing here?
That's a photograph of the left hand of Miss Baker.
Was there anything of significance to you as a forensics detective about her left hand depicted in State's 83?
Yes, there was some wounds, defensive type wounds to the hand.
Okay. And then State's Exhibit 84, what are we seeing here?
That is the leg of Miss Baker. I believe it was the right leg of Miss Baker.
Okay. And in particular, what are we seeing in this area here?
That appeared to be a blood transfer pattern that was on the leg, kind of in the shape of a hand, made by someone touching that leg.
Did you make any effort to try and process that area of her body?
Yes, sir, we did.
What did you do?
We tried several methods of trying to recover that and to see if there was any fingerprint ridge detail in it. We used a chemical called TMB, and I apologize, I don't know what that TMB stands for, but it's a reagent that reacts with blood, similar to like phenolphthalein or luminol that's used to detect blood. We also applied Polaroid film to that spot in hopes that the TMB and the blood would transfer the pattern to the Polaroid film and have a chemical reaction. And then we also dusted that film with magnetic fingerprint powder, as well as processed that straight on the skin with fingerprint powder to try to recover fingerprints.
Were you successful?
No, sir.
Okay. We talked about environmental factors earlier. How would the environmental factors at this scene affect, if at all, your ability to process for fingerprints?
Well, fingerprints on the body is very difficult to recover. I've only done it once or twice in my life, and that was doing it during testing on myself. It's never worked out on the scene, but it is possible. In this case, we did not have any luck because you also have environmental factors such as the water from the fire, the heat from the fire. The heat made the skin almost feel dry out to like it was leather. Fingerprints are usually left behind by oils and dirts and stuff from the fingers when you touch a surface. In this case, the heat dries that up, and also it absorbs those chemicals and that water and things into the skin because of the heat. You have the fire department putting the fire out. The fact that the water's there can wash off any of the oils or trace evidence or things on the skin. But it's extremely difficult to recover fingerprints from a body, but it's not impossible.
I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 85, ask you if you recognize that.
Yes, sir, I do.
What do you recognize that as?
That is showing some of the heat damage to the side of Miss Baker.
And then State's 86, what are we seeing here?
That is the right knee and upper thigh of Miss Baker that was burned.
Did y'all process any other surfaces inside of the residence?
Yes, sir, we did. We processed the doors and the window areas looking for fingerprints.
Was there anything of significance that you noted in your processing of the doors and window areas?
We found what appeared to be white marks on the front door near the peephole, as if somebody had taken a cloth, some sort, and wiped the area down. We found other areas where you had mostly water damage and things as far as fingerprinting, which fingerprint powder and water, the powder is consistent with baby powder. So when it gets wet, it clumps up and it's completely ineffective in trying to recover fingerprints. So it made it difficult. But we saw areas where it appeared to have been wiped down at some point in time before we added the powders.
Okay. Were you able to recover any prints in your processing of the scene?
We recovered one print that appeared to be a palm print on one of the doors, the interior doors, but it turned out it was unidentifiable.
And I'm putting up what's been marked as State's Exhibit 87. And can you tell us what we're looking at here?
That is a fingerprint that was found on the door. One of the, I'd have to look at my report to tell you exactly which door it was. But it was one of the doors inside the residence, one of the bedroom doors, if I recall correctly. Yeah, bedroom number 2, which would have been the first door on your left as you walk into the residence from the outside.
You made reference to a print being unidentifiable just a moment ago. Are you referring to one?
To this print.
Okay. And I think, I'm sorry, earlier we talked about the APHIS system at the Athens-Clarke County Police Department. What involvement, again, did you have with that?
Well, I was the project manager that started the program when we first got it, but then I was the APHIS operator for 7 or 8 years before I was promoted and moved on up, and I had other people trained to do it, and I took more of a supervisory responsibility.
And could you remind the jury what APHIS stands for?
The Automated Fingerprint Identification System.
I want to back up now. We talked about the processing of surfaces for fingerprints. Let's back up to processing Ms. Baker's body in the living room on the white sheets for trace evidence.
Sure.
Were you able to find any trace evidence on Ms. Baker's person?
Yes, sir, we did.
Okay. When we're using the terminology trace evidence, does hair fall in that category?
Yes, sir, it does.
Okay. I'm going to show Mr. Cruz what's been marked as State's Exhibits 88, 89.
Thank you.
And Your Honor, if it's acceptable to the court, I was going to hand Lieutenant Leall states 88, 89, and 90. And then I was going to ask him to open it. I have a pocket knife with me. Is it okay if I hand him that to do that?
It is fine.
All right. Thank you.
It's all right.
First, I'll let you review 88, 89, and 90. And then I'm going to hand you this pocket knife. You mind opening those up? And then before I ask you any other questions about it, I'll take it back to defense counsel for his review. Thank you, sir. And Your Honor, Lieutenant Leall has opened states 88, 89, and 90. I'm handing those to Mr. Cruz. Sir, I'm going to hand you 88, 89, and 90. And if you could, reach inside the envelope marked states 88 and let me know what is inside of there.
It's a sealed envelope with my handwriting on it, depicting hair recovered from the torso of the victim.
Okay. Does that appear, based on the labeling, to be the hair you collected from the torso of the victim?
Based on the labeling, yes, that's correct. My seals are still intact, and my initials are over the seals.
And Judge, I moved to tender states 88 at this time.
Any objection?
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead.
Object on the basis of authentication. I spoke to the state. He said that on cross-examination, I could go through the process of authenticating what's in the envelope. So I would ask at this time not to admit the items into evidence, but on cross, I will open it up and authenticate it with the witness, and if the other court finds it appropriate, I'll admit it at that time. That's fine.
Thank you, Mr. Cruz. Mr. Yelenichili, any response to the statement by defense counsel?
It's been appropriately authenticated to be admitted, Your Honor.
I'm going to admit it over objection, but certainly, Mr. Cruz, you can do any of those things that you'd like to on cross-examination.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you may continue.
State's Exhibit 89, same thing.
That is an envelope, again, that has my initials over the seals that was sealed in my handwriting, depicting the hair that was recovered from the buttocks area of Miss Baker.
And does that appear to be the sample that you collected and sealed in your processing of the crime scene?
Yes, sir, it does.
And Judge, I move to tender 89 at this time.
Any objection, Mr. Cruz?
Just an objection, Mr. Chairman.
All right, thank you. I'm going to overrule the objection and admit it over objection.
And then States Exhibit 90, same thing.
That is also an envelope that has my initials over the evidence seal that contains the hair that was recovered from the left hand of Miss Baker.
And does that appear to be in substantially the same shape as when you collected it and sealed it inside that evidence?
Yes, sir.
Judge, I move to tender 90.
Any objection, Mr. Cruz?
Only the prior objection, Mr. Chairman.
All right, thank you. I'm going to admit it over objection, but you certainly can cross-examine when it is defense counsel's time.
Were those the 3 areas of Miss Baker from which you recovered some type of hair?
Yes.
Okay. And as part of your forensic processing, do you test or identify hair?
No.
Okay. And I'm sorry, Judge, if we could have just a moment. And I'm going to show Mr. Cruz what's been marked as State's Exhibits 91 and 92. So first I'm going to hand you State's Exhibit 91 and ask you to recognize that.
I do.
How are you able to recognize it?
From the markings on the bag, which depicts what's in it.
What is it?
It's the electrical cord of the ligature that was taken from around the neck of Miss Baker.
And Judge, I move to tender State's 91 at this time.
Any objection, counsel? It is admitted.
Trey, I'll hand you State's 92. What is that?
That is a sealed bag that's containing the residue that was recovered from around the eye of the stove in the kitchen.
And how do you recognize it?
It's marked on the bag as what it is, and the identification from the police department with our case number.
Your Honor, I've moved to tender State's 92 at this time.
Any objection?
No, ma'am.
It is admitted.
I'm going to hand Mr. Cruz State's Exhibit 93 at this time.
It's on 93.
This is 93.
Thank you.
That's right. That's 94, 3, and you're on 93.
So I'm going to hand you State's Exhibit 93 at this time. Do you recognize what that is?
It's a box labeled containing the knobs from the kitchen stove from Miss Baker's residence.
Okay. And let me ask you a question about those knobs on the kitchen stove. Where were those knobs when you saw them?
They were attached to the stove in its proper positions, the post that they slide onto.
Okay. And I'm not going to ask you to say anything that anybody said to you, but was it your understanding that they had been that way when firefighters entered the residence?
Yes.
Okay. As far as attached or not attached to the stove?
Both.
Okay. And I don't think we actually labeled this, Judge, I'm sorry. Oh, okay. And does this, well, you've already identified it, sorry. Judge, I moved to tender states 93 at this time.
Any objection, Mr. Cruz?
No, ma'am.
Is admitted.
Sir, I'm going to hand you State's Exhibit 94 at this time. Do you recognize what that is?
Yes, sir, I do.
And what is it?
It's the box containing the knife that was recovered near Miss Baker.
And I'm going to move to tender 94 at this time, Judge.
Any objection, Mr. Cruz?
No, ma'am.
It's admitted.
Sir, I'll hand you 95. Ask you if you recognize that item.
Yes, sir, I do.
How do you recognize it?
It's got my name on the bag. Is entering it into the evidence room.
Okay. And what is it?
I'm sorry.
What is it?
It contains the butcher, wood butcher block holder for the knives that was found on the countertop next to the stove.
And Judge, I move to tender State's 95 at this time.
Any objection?
No, ma'am.
It is admitted.
Sir, when you were processing the scene and collecting this evidence, do you recall the brand or manufacturer of the knife block?
If I recall correctly, I believe it was Farberware.
Okay. And do you recall the brand or manufacturer of the knife that was found in Miss Baker's bedroom?
I believe that was also Farberware.
Okay. And Mr. Cruz, did I hand you State's 96? I'm handing Mr. Cruz State's 96. Lieutenant Leall, I'm going to hand you now State's 96. Do you recognize that item?
I do.
And what do you recognize it as?
It's a bag that's containing the power transformer to the printer, which I cut that portion off that was around the neck of Miss Baker, and this is the remaining portion of it.
Judge, I move to tender State's 96 at this point.
Any objection? It's admitted.
After you finished processing Miss Baker's body for trace evidence, are you aware of what was done with her body?
Yes, she was placed into a disaster bag and she was transported to the GBI crime lab for an autopsy.
Your Honor, if I could have just a moment to confer with Mr. Bolt.
All right, go ahead.
Lieutenant Leall, as you were processing the crime scene and also Miss Baker's body, were there any odors of significance?
Yes.
And what was that?
I distinctly remember the smell of the shampoo that emitted from her hair. I don't know the brand name or anything like that, but I can smell it to this day.
Judge, I don't have any other questions for Lieutenant Leall.
All right, thank you. I think before we, Mr. Cruz, we do cross-examination, we're going to take a break.
I agree.
All right, thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a break for a little less than 15 minutes. If you'll go into the jury room, there are, of course, snacks there. The restroom, please don't discuss the case. We will be with you at 3:45. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you may be seated. Mr. Cruz, cross-examination.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon, Lieutenant Leall.
Good afternoon, sir.
I would like to follow up with you on some things that the state discussed with you. I'd like to show you State's Exhibit 37. Your Honor, is it okay if I approach the witness?
Yes.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
And you have continuing freedom to walk around the courtroom. You don't have to ask.
Now, we've established that you recognize that photo as an aerial view of the Deer Park community. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Okay. And I would like to also show you what's marked as Defense Exhibit 12, 13, 14, and 15. And let the record reflect I may have skipped 9, 10, and 11. These are pre-marked. Let the record reflect that I'm showing the state said exhibits. Lieutenant Leall, take your time, look at those photographs. Once you've had an opportunity to look at those photographs, just please look up. You recognize Defense Exhibit 12 through 15, if I have my numbering correct, as aerial views of the Deer Park community. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, they are.
Okay, and they're aerial views from different angles. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Are those photographs fair and accurate depictions of Deer Park and the surrounding area as you know it?
Yes, sir, they are.
Okay, thank you. Have those photographs been altered in any way to your knowledge?
They don't appear to be, no.
Yes, sir. Your Honor, I would move to admit Defense Exhibit 12 through 15 into evidence.
Any objection?
No objection, Judge.
They are admitted.
Do you want 37 back?
I'd also like to show you State's Exhibit 47. We've established that you recognize State's Exhibit 47. Is it okay if I approach you, sir?
Yes, sir.
We have established that you recognize that photograph. Is that correct?
That's correct.
I'd like to show you court's indulgence, Your Honor. I'd like to show you what has been marked as Defense Exhibit 9. Let the record reflect that I am showing the state what has been marked as Defense Exhibit 9.
No objection, Your Honor.
May I approach you?
Go ahead. It's fine.
No, I won't be startled.
So I handed you the state's exhibit and I handed you Defense Exhibit 9. Would you agree that Defense Exhibit 9 is a close-up of the window depicted in state's exhibit, I believe 27, if I'm not mistaken? I may have that number wrong.
47.
47, please forgive me.
Yes, sir. You're correct.
Okay. And do you recognize that photo?
Yes, sir. It's the photograph showing the window adjacent to the rear entrance or exit, however you want to look at it, to the apartment.
Yes, sir. Has that, to your knowledge, or would you have any reason to disagree that that photo has not been altered in any way?
I would agree.
Your Honor, I would move to admit Defense Exhibit 9 into evidence.
Any objection?
No objection, Judge.
Admitted.
Yes, ma'am. And I would ask for permission to publish Defense Exhibit 9 and State's Exhibit 47 to the jury. Thank you. I'd like to show you what is being marked as Defense Exhibit 10. Let the record reflect that I am showing the state what has been marked as Defense Exhibit 10.
Absolutely. Hey.
Lieutenant Leall, do you recognize Defense Exhibit 10?
I do.
Okay, and you recognize Defense Exhibit 10 as the back door that's depicted in State's Exhibit 47, is that correct?
Yes, sir, it is.
And it's just a closer up view of said door, is that right?
That's correct.
Would you have any reason to disagree that that photo has not been altered in any way?
It doesn't appear to be altered that I'm aware of.
Yes, sir. Is it a fair and accurate depiction of the back door as you remember it to be?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Your Honor, I would move to admit Defense Exhibit 10 into evidence and publish same to the jury.
Any objection?
No objection, Judge.
It's admitted and published.
Course indulgence, Your Honor. I'd like to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 71.
All right.
Now, in regards to State's Exhibit 71, I believe we saw a prior photo of material from the ceiling that was on top of Ms. Baker and on top of that item there. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And just to make the record clear, the item that I'm speaking of is the power transformer. Where the power transformer is located, once that debris was moved, is that the place that you found the power transformer located?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, I would ask for permission to publish States Exhibit 27 to members of the jury.
That was already admitted, correct?
It was.
Granted.
Thank you. And we've already established that on January 19th, 2001, you went to Ms. Baker's home and you had opportunity to view her body, correct? Do you agree?
Yes, sir.
In regards to the evidence located on and around Ms. Baker's body, there were hairs collected from Ms. Baker's left hand. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
There were hairs collected from Ms. Baker's body. Is that right?
That's correct.
There was also a hair collected from Ms. Baker's buttocks. Is that right?
That's correct.
And I'm going to get you another pair of gloves.
No, I'm good.
Give me 1 second. Court's indulgence. All right, I'd like to show you what's been previously admitted as States Exhibit 89, which contains a envelope enclosed documented as item number 8, hair from buttocks. Do you recognize that?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to hand you a pair of scissors. I would like you to open item number 8. That was within States Exhibit 89, and I provided you a paper towel for the hair.
Okay. There is no hair in it.
Can you repeat that?
There is no hair inside it.
Thank you.
I'm going to place this back in the envelope where I cut it open.
I'd like to show you what's previously been admitted as States Exhibit 88. Inside States Exhibit 88, there's there's an envelope marked number 9, hair from torso area of victim. Are you okay with opening this for me, sir?
Yes, sir. There's no hair inside here.
Can you repeat that for the jury, please?
There's no hair inside here.
Your Honor, can I take a break for a second? Bathroom break, if it's okay.
Yes, you can. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to ask you to go into the jury room for a couple of moments. Please don't discuss the case. You can go ahead, Ms. Cruz. Sure. Shirley, we have a box for you. Please be seated. Mr. Cruz, you have the floor.
Thank you, Your Honor. Lieutenant Leall, did you collect hairs and put them in those envelopes?
Yes,
Okay, so at one point in time, there would have been hair in those envelopes. Is that correct?
that's correct.
Thank you, sir. All right. I'd like to show you what's been previously admitted as State's Exhibit 90, which is hair from left hand of victim. And inside State's Exhibit 90 is a white envelope marked number 10 with a description of hair from left hand of victim. May I approach? Can you open this for me? While Lieutenant Leall is looking at that exhibit, I would like to mark empty envelope number 8, which is the envelope that was supposed to contain the hair from Ms. Baker's buttocks, as defense exhibit 11. Which I'll separate from State's, I think 27. Sorry, which I separated from State's 89.
Are you asking it to be readmitted, or are you just putting a defense number on the already admitted exhibit? You want it on the envelope?
Correct.
Okay, and it's number 11. All right. So, any objection, Mr. Yeoman-Chili?
I don't have an objection. I think the original larger envelope and its contents have already been admitted. However, I don't have any objection to
All right.
labeling the interior envelope.
I will admit it in that manner.
Yes, ma'am. Also, the envelope that was in State's Exhibit 88, which is the empty envelope that would have contained hair from the torso of the victim. I am admitting this as defense exhibit 16, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Yelmichilli, any response?
Just the same response, Your Honor.
All right, I will admit it. Okay, the whole package has been admitted as state's exhibit, but I will admit it as defense 16 in this manner, without objection.
Lieutenant Leall, can you tell me the number of hairs that were in State's Exhibit 90?
From this, none. There was 0 in here.
There are no hairs in State's Exhibit 90?
That's correct.
Did you put hairs in the envelope when you sealed it up?
Yes.
Your Honor, I would like to mark as defense exhibit 17 the empty envelope that would have contained the hair from the left hand of Miss Tara Baker.
Any objection, Mr. Yelmichilli?
No objection, Judge.
All right, I will admit it in the same manner as before, without objection.
In regards to your observation of Miss Baker's home, is it fair to say that you determined that Miss Baker's front door was deadbolt locked before it was opened by firefighters?
It appears that way, yes.
You would agree that there were multiple bedrooms in Miss Baker's home, correct?
That's correct.
And they belonged to Miss Baker's roommates, Miss Ashley, at the time, Miss Ashley Peavy, now Mrs. Ashley Peavy Hall, and at the time, Miss Valerie Lowe, now at the time, Miss Valerie Lang, now Dr. Valerie Lowe. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Based on your observations, none of the drawers in Miss Lang's room appeared to be disturbed.
That's correct.
Based on your observations, none of the drawers in Miss Peavy's room appeared to be disturbed.
That's correct.
Would you agree that Miss Lang and Miss Peavy had jury boxes, computers, and other accessories in plain view within the home?
That's correct. There was.
And, of course, I'm sure we agree on this, none of those items were taken from the home.
That's correct.
You also had the opportunity to walk through the living room and the common area of the homes. Is that correct?
I did, yes.
Would you agree with the statement that nothing was that nothing appeared to be stolen from the living room or common area of the home?
I can't say that with any certainty since I don't live there and don't know what is actually there, but there were items still present.
Do you recall writing a report dated January 21st, 2001?
I do.
You have a copy of that report up there with you?
I do, yes.
Okay. Can you turn to page 3 of 11?
Okay.
Can you read the 4th sentence? And the first sentence ends in burglaries. So the first sentence you'll see is commonly removed in burglaries. Can you read the 3rd sentence from that period?
Some items have been moved after the fire, indicated from markings on the floor.
Read the sentence before that one.
The living room and common area of the residence contain furniture and a television/VCR.
And can you read the next sentence?
Nothing appeared to be disturbed prior to the fire.
Thank you. So it's fair to say that nothing appeared to be disturbed in the living room and common area.
That's correct.
Now, you also then had opportunity, and I believe I provided you with an exhibit, the state provided you with an exhibit as well, But we can agree that you had an opportunity to examine the window in the kitchen area, right?
Yes, sir, I did.
Now, you would agree that the blinds were down on both the window on the door as well as the window in the dining area?
Yes, sir, they were.
Thank you. I believe you discussed this with the state, but during your examination of the home, you learned that several items had wipe marks. Is that right?
The door area, the front door near the peephole, and other areas, white marks probably from just general cleaning throughout the course of that door being there. I can't say when the white marks occurred, but there were marks there that were picked up when I put fingerprint powder to those surfaces.
So is it fair to say that we don't know if the white marks happened after Ms. Baker's murder, nor do we know if the white marks happened before Ms. Baker's murder?
That would be correct, yes.
And those white marks were present on the stove. Would you agree with that?
I don't recall if there was any on the stove.
Sure. Can you turn to page 9 of 11 of your January 21st, 2001 report, please? And if you will go to the second paragraph, in the fourth sentence from the bottom, that starts with "in processing the front door." Can you read that, please?
In processing the front door, stove, and window sill, markings similar to one wipes the surface with a rag were found. The markings on the front of the door were consistent with a person looking out the peephole and placing left hand on the door. The white mark where the left hand would have been as well as along the door edge. White marks were also found on the window sill in the dining area.
Thank you. Now, when Ms. Baker was found, you would agree that she was completely naked.
That's correct.
There were no clothes around her that were notated in your report. Is that right?
That's correct.
And a towel was not found near her body.
That's correct.
Your Honor, I don't have any more questions for Lieutenant Leall. Thank you so much for your service. Those are my questions.
Thank you.
Any redirect, Mr. Yellowman-Chili?
Briefly, Judge, Lieutenant Leall, as it relates to the hairs you collected, did you package those hairs?
I did.
Did you send them to the GBI?
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay. And that would have been for some kind of analysis or testing possibilities. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. Do you have any idea what the GBI did with them once they received them?
I do not.
Okay. Does y'all have any other questions for Lieutenant Leall? Thank you.
Any recross, Mr. Cruz?
No, ma'am, but I do have a motion.
All right. All right.
Or we could approach, if you don't want to send the jury out, we could approach it.
All right. Okay, that's fine. I mean, I may do that anyway, but you come on up, that's fine. Yes, sir. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to send you into the jury room for just a few moments. Don't discuss the case. Be with you shortly. Thank you. You all may be seated. Thank you. All right, Mr. Cruz, your motion. Go ahead, sir.
I would just like to renew my motion in regards to, and I'll say motion to eliminate, to admission of testimony that the oral swab B is a vaginal swab. The additional information that I'm providing to the court is consistent with our prior argument that regarding the collection of that swabbing and the markings of that swabbing, and what Dr. Falzone testified to in regards to the procedure as well as the supervision of making sure items are properly marked and properly identified. As the Honorable Court saw, we just had, I believe it's 3 envelopes. One was supposed to contain, was marked to contain hair from Ms. Baker's hand, and we heard testimony from the Honorable Lieutenant Leall that he collected it, he put it in the envelope. It is now missing. We also had a hair that was identified that was on Ms. Baker's butt that the Honorable Lieutenant Leall stated that he put in the envelope. It is now missing. And we also heard about the hair, you also heard testimony about the hair that was on Ms. Baker's chest that the Honorable Lieutenant Leall secured, packaged up. It is now missing. I would ask the Honorable Court to consider that in regards to our argument regarding the oral swabs. And 23 years later, the state is going to attempt to introduce testimony that these oral swabbings are now vaginal swabs. Thank you for hearing me out, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Bolden, Mr. Yalman-Chile, any response?
Yes, Your Honor. I think Mr. Cruz is confusing the admissibility of the evidence versus the, I guess, the significance of it. It's hard to really understand. I would point out that we had the motion, I guess, motion in limine, whatever he characterized it as, when Dr. Falzon was on the stand. But then when I actually moved to tender the exhibit, there was no objection. So there's no contemporaneous objection to the admission of the evidence. So, I think, again...
Hang on. Mr. Cruz, it's your motion. I'll let you respond when he's finished.
Yes, ma'am.
Respectfully to Mr. Cruz, I think he's misunderstanding the fact that there will be additional testimony about not only the items that Lieutenant Leall just entered into evidence, but also those that Dr. Falzon entered. You can't have one witness testify about everything as it relates to the piece of evidence. That's why you tender it and then have them testify. So I don't know what the grounds are that he's asking to move to exclude the exhibit relative to oral swabs A, but they're admitted into evidence, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you. And thank you.
If I may, Your Honor, as I mentioned when I learned about the swabbings today, this is a motion that I brought up as this issue came to my attention. If the Honorable Court is willing, if we come in tomorrow and provide the Honorable Court with cases, and just to clear up Mr. Bowden's, if I misstated anything, so when it comes to chain of custody, the state has to establish an appropriate chain of custody before evidence is admitted. If not, if there's an issue with the chain of custody, and I provide the Honorable the Honorable Court with a case or cases regarding this issue, that evidence is to be excluded. We have a chain of custody log. And one of the biggest issues with the chain of custody log is the same way those items were packaged here today. They're the same way on the chain of custody log. And I said, well, maybe because it was improperly marked, they just put it in this way. But actually seeing the packages ourselves, and I should have opened it. I didn't even think about opening it to see if something's actually in the box. I would just ask the Honorable Court to allow us to have a hearing. I'll present the case law. Pursuant to chain of custody, I'll be able to present the chain of custody report to the Honorable Court. And the Honorable Court has already heard the testimony from Lieutenant Leall about what he collected and what's missing. And I think it would be appropriate, if the Honorable Court finds that it is appropriate, to allow us to present that issue to you in regards to suppression of any future testimony that is now attempting to relabel swabs that have been documented as oral for 23 years to now say they are vaginal swabs.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, so I'm going to deny your motions, Mr. Cruz, and this is the reason for them. You are asking the court to kind of venture into the purview of the jury. There has, first of all, I agree with the state that the evidence you are complaining about with the doctor expert we had this morning was admitted into evidence. The issues that you're referring to right now with regard to any evidence that has been admitted with this witness goes to the weight of that evidence. And the argument you're making about about chain of custody is an argument that you are entitled to make to the jury if you choose to do that. But what you're arguing is the weight of the evidence. And so I'm going to deny your motion, Mr. Cruz.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you.
One question for you, Your Honor.
Yes.
May I follow up with a couple of questions for Lieutenant Leall, separate from our motion, but when the jury comes back out?
So hang on just a second. I'm trying to remember where we were before I sent the jury out. Did you finish your redirect?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
I asked a single question, or
Okay.
single question, but 3 questions, I think.
Right, and I have not yet asked you if you had any recross. Is that correct?
He indicated he did not have recross and thanked Lieutenant Leall for his service.
Okay, that's correct. All right, I'm going to deny your motion, Mr. Cruz. Can you bring the jury out, please? I do remember that now. Musical chairs. All right, you all may be seated. Thank you. All right, may Detective or Lieutenant Leall be excused?
We'd ask that he is, Judge.
Any objection from the defense?
I have him under subpoena. I would just ask that he be that he's subject to recall. I spoke to Lieutenant Leall. He explained to me his schedule.
Okay.
The Honorable Court will allow, if we have the opportunity to call Lieutenant Leall back, we would just ask if he would prefer that we allow him to do it via WebEx.
I can add to that, Your Honor.
Okay.
I have no objection to returning back. I would just need enough notice because I live 30 minutes away. And I'm also possibly testifying sometime next week in DeKalb County in a state court case, and I don't know the exact date. So other than that, I'm free and able to come at any time.
Thank you, sir. So the answer to your question, Mr. Cruz, is yes and yes. So Lieutenant Leall, you are still on call. You're still under subpoena. And I'll let you work it out with your witness if you need to ask the court for permission for a video testimony. I've already told you that you can do that. And so I'll leave that to you to just let the court know whether that's necessary. Other than that, you are free to go, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, Your Honor, may I step out to obtain
Yes.
information?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Yelman, Shelley, Mr. Bolden, you may call your next witness.
Judge, can we approach
You may.
about that?
All right.